It began on a Thursday night, the kind of night that feels wrong, where every creak, every flicker of light feels like a warning. Sarah had the house to herself. Her parents were out of town on a work trip. Her little brother was away at a school camp. The big old country house that always felt too small suddenly felt cavernous and quiet. Too quiet. She poured herself some tea, the kettle hissing over the gas stove. Outside, the trees were thrashing in the wind. The sky flickered with distant lightning. She thought she had more time before the storm would reach them, but it came faster than she expected. The lights blinked. Once, twice, then darkness. A sigh escaped her lips. "Of course," she muttered. She reached for the flashlight her dad kept in the kitchen drawer. It clicked on with a low beam, just enough to show her the way to the fuse box. She walked down the hall. The floorboards creaked under her steps. The wind outside sounded like it was screaming through the chimney. Just as she reached the fuse box, she heard it. A whisper.
"Sarah."
She froze. No one was supposed to be here. She turned quickly, the beam of her flashlight slicing through the dark. Nothing. Probably the wind, she said, trying to laugh at herself, but her voice was too thin, too hollow. The power wasn't coming back. The switch had flipped, but the house remained dead. She decided to light some candles. Her mother always kept extras in the kitchen. With a shaky hand, she lit 3 and carried them into the living room, setting them down around the fireplace. She curled up on the couch, pulling the wool blanket tight around her. The storm was now directly overhead. Thunder cracked the sky open every few minutes, shaking the windows. She tried playing music on her phone, but there was no service. Not even a flicker of a signal bar. No Wi-Fi either. Just silence. Then again, that whisper. Closer this time.
"Sarah, come upstairs."
She stood up. Her heart beat so loud it was echoing in her ears. She called out.
"Who's there?"
Silence. She stepped toward the stairs. The flashlight flickered. The air grew colder. As she climbed the steps, she could hear them. Footsteps, but not hers. Soft, bare, slow, upstairs. And then, one door creaked open. But all the doors had been shut. She remembered. She had shut them herself. When she reached the landing, she paused. The candle in her hand trembled slightly, its flame dancing like it too was afraid. Her parents' bedroom door was ajar. It hadn't been earlier. She approached slowly. Every step forward was harder than the last, as though the hallway was stretching itself, getting longer, pulling her in. She nudged the door open with the tip of the flashlight. The room was empty, but the closet was open. Just a crack. She stepped closer. The candle flickered wildly now. Inside the closet, nothing. Just her own reflection, caught in the full-length mirror. But was it? The reflection wasn't moving. It stood still. She stepped back. The reflection didn't. And then, It smiled. Sarah didn't scream, not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. The reflection's smile stretched unnaturally, eyes wide with a knowing glint. She backed away, heart racing, breath ragged. And just as quickly, it was gone. Her reflection moved as normal. "What the hell?" she whispered. She ran back downstairs, fast, too fast, nearly slipping on the last step. She locked the front door, the back, the windows, every bolt, every latch. Her hands trembled. She needed to leave, but the roads were probably flooded. Her car was old. The storm hadn't let up. She picked up the phone again. Still dead. That's when she saw it. A shadow in the kitchen. A tall, still silhouette. But when she rushed in, nothing. Except footprints. Wet footprints. Leading out of the kitchen. But the floors were dry. Had been dry. She hadn't left the house. No one had. So who did those belong to? The storm knocked something over outside. A crash. Then silence again. Sarah didn't sleep. Not even close. She sat in the living room, blanket around her, candles flickering low. Every sound made her jump. Sometime past midnight, she heard scratching, soft, from the basement. She didn't want to go down there. But the sound grew louder, urgent, like nails against wood. She opened the basement door and pointed her flashlight downward. The staircase vanished into total blackness. The scratching stopped. She whispered, "Hello?" A soft response came back. "Help me." A child's voice. A boy. It sounded just like her brother. She ran down the stairs, each step colder than the last. The beam of her flashlight caught boxes, old furniture, pipes, and then, in the far corner, a figure. Curled up, pale, small. "Tommy," she whispered. The figure looked up. Not Tommy. Its eyes were all black. It grinned, revealing rows of teeth far too sharp, far too many. Sarah turned to run, but the stairs were gone. The basement walls pulsed like lungs. The air reeked of mildew and something rotten. She screamed, but the sound was swallowed. The thing in the corner stood slowly, impossibly tall now, its limbs cracking as they stretched. Sarah found a rusted ladder bolted to the far wall. She climbed, not daring to look back. When she pulled herself into the pantry upstairs, she slammed the trapdoor shut. The house was changing. Walls no longer met where they should. Doors opened to wrong rooms. Clocks spun backward. And always, always, that whisper. "Sarah, you're not alone." Her phone lit up for a second. One single notification. "He's in the house." Then it shut off again. She ran upstairs to her bedroom. She slammed the door, pushed furniture in front, hid in the closet. Her heart was thundering, tears in her eyes. Then, outside the closet, footsteps. And breathing. Heavy, wet, close. The closet door creaked open and nothing. Just darkness. Then, the hand grabbed her ankle. Sarah woke on the hallway floor. Morning light filtered through broken blinds. Was it over? No. The furniture was rearranged. All the mirrors were shattered and carved into the walls everywhere. One word: stay. She found a photograph on the dining room table. A photo she'd never seen. Her family, smiling. But in the background, someone standing in the shadows. Tall, barefoot, eyes like voids. She flipped it over. Written in shaky ink. "You brought it in." She remembered. That antique mirror she found at the flea market. The one she put in the hall a week ago. She had joked it looked haunted. She smashed it. Shards flew. A scream erupted from the walls. The house shuddered. Wind whipped through like a breath exhaling. And then stillness. That night, the storm finally passed. The power returned. Her phone worked. Her family came home. She told them everything. They didn't believe her. But they noticed the scratches, the damage, the fear. They moved a month later. Sarah never went back. But sometimes, in her sleep, she hears it again. The whisper. Right outside her window. Sarah. Because some doors, once opened, don't shut again. And some houses don't forget. The rain hadn't stopped for hours. Thick sheets hammered against the windows, like the world outside was trying to get in. Lena sat on the couch, arms wrapped around her knees. The power had gone out 2 hours ago. Only the fireplace remained, crackling softly in the silence. Her parents had gone out of town, some emergency in another state. She begged them not to leave, but they reassured her. "You're 17, Lena. You're fine. Just lock the doors." She did. Every single one. At least, she thought she had. The house was too quiet. No hum of the fridge, no distant buzz from the lights, just the fire and the soft patter of rain. Lena lit a few candles and placed them on the windowsill, kitchen table, and the hallway. The shadows they cast flickered like ghosts on the walls. Every creak of the wooden floor felt louder than it should. She found herself pausing often, head tilted, listening for something that shouldn't be there. She didn't know why. Maybe it was just the storm. Maybe. The scratching started just before midnight. Soft, almost like a whisper. From the basement door. It wasn't loud, more like something brushing against the wood, like nails. She stood frozen, unsure if she had imagined it. The fire hissed softly behind her. The wind outside howled through the trees. She crept toward the basement door. Scratch. Scratch, scratch. She backed away. Nope. She wasn't opening that. Lena locked herself in her room. But the scratching didn't stop. She heard it beneath her floor now, right under the bed. She lifted her feet, curling them beneath her. The wind moaned. Her phone battery was at 4%. No signal. She texted her mom anyway. "I think there's something in the house. Please come back. Please." Message unsent. The scratching stopped. Then the smell started, like something rotting. Like old meat and earth and something worse. She woke with a jolt. The bedroom door was wide open. She didn't remember falling asleep. Her candles had gone out. Only the red glow of the fire downstairs lit the staircase in flickering flashes. She slowly walked to the top of the stairs. She could see the front door from here. It was wide open. Rain poured in. Mud trailed across the carpet. Something had come in, or never left. Lena grabbed the kitchen knife. She called out, "Hello." No answer. She closed the door, bolted it. Her hands trembled. Thunder cracked overhead, then footsteps. Upstairs. Not hers. She hadn't gone back up. Slow, heavy footsteps, and then the sound of something being dragged. Something that breathed. She gripped the knife tighter. She should have left. She should have run to the neighbors. But something kept her in the house. Like the air had thickened, like it wouldn't let her leave. She turned the corner to the hallway, and all the pictures on the wall were upside down. All of them. Even the ones she couldn't reach without a ladder. Her baby photo was scratched out, but not torn, just clawed. The basement door creaked open. On its own. A thick stench rolled out from the darkness below. Lena covered her mouth. She stepped forward, the knife still shaking in her hand. Down the stairs, one by one. The candle she carried barely lit anything. But halfway down, she saw something on the wall. A message. Carved into the wood. I never left. The basement was freezing. Colder than the storm outside. She stepped onto the concrete floor, and the candle went out. Pitch black. Something moved. She turned, ran back up, but the door slammed shut above her. She was trapped, breathing hard. In the darkness, a whisper. Lena, her name. From the shadows. She screamed, pounded on the door. Silence. Then another whisper, but this time closer. I waited for them to leave. A cold breath touched her ear. I waited for you. She slashed wildly in the dark. Something screamed, high-pitched, not human. And it laughed. When she finally got the door open, it was morning. The storm was gone. Everything was normal. Too normal. No mud on the floor. No mud on the floor. No upside-down pictures. No smell. No blood. But her bedroom door was still open and carved into the inside of the frame. We're not done. Days passed. Nothing happened. Until her mother noticed something. Where's your reflection? What? In the mirror. Lena, you're not there. She turned and saw only the room behind her. No Lena. She hadn't noticed. She screamed. The house had marked her. She was hollow now. When she spoke, sometimes her voice came out twice. Once from her mouth, once from the walls. She didn't sleep anymore. Not because she was scared. Because something inside her didn't need sleep. She stopped eating. The food rotted before it touched her lips. Animals wouldn't go near her. And sometimes at night, she saw herself outside the window. Watching. Smiling. Waving. One night, her parents didn't come home. They vanished. Gone. but she saw him in her dreams, locked in the basement, calling her name, scratching at the door, just like before. Now she understood. They were never the target. She was. Lena never left the house again, because she couldn't. The house had made her part of it. Sometimes, kids dare each other to break in. And when they do, they see a girl in the mirror, smiling, motionless, until she turns and says your name.